You protected him from this life. That was the deal you made with yourself. You'd carry the blood. You'd carry the secrets. You'd carry the weight, but he would stay clean. That's what you told yourself every time you stepped into a warehouse at midnight. Every time you ordered something you couldn't undo. Every time you chose the family over everything else. You did it so he wouldn't have to. The message comes at 6:12 p.m. You're in your office, reviewing numbers, calm, controlled, stable. Your phone vibrates once. Marco, you open it casually. Then you stop breathing. It's a photo, your brother, standing in a black suit. Inside a warehouse, your warehouse. Next to 3 soldiers, armed, serious. The caption below, he's one of us. You stare at the image, zoom in, zoom out, wrong angle. Wrong lighting. Photoshop? No. You know that warehouse floor. You know those metal beams. You know the symbol on the wall behind him. It's real. You text back. Explain. 3 dots appear. Disappear. Then, he approached them. Your chest tightens. What do you mean he approached them? He asked to join. You stand up slowly. The room feels smaller. You protected him. You refused to kill him. You chose him over power. And now, he walked into the fire voluntarily. You drive straight to the location. No warning. No call. You walk into the warehouse without announcing yourself. Conversations stop instantly. The room parts slightly, and there he is. Your brother, wearing a black suit, standing straighter than you've ever seen him. He turns, sees you, and doesn't look surprised. That hurts more than anything. You didn't tell me, you say quietly. He dismisses the others with a subtle gesture. They obey. That's new. When they leave, silence stretches between you. You weren't supposed to find out like this, he says. You almost laugh. Find out? You thought you could keep this world from me forever. Yes. He shakes his head. You underestimated me. No, you protected him. That's different. Why? You ask. His expression hardens slightly. You think I didn't notice? Notice what? The late nights. The tension. The scars. You say nothing. I may not know everything, he continues, but I'm not stupid. You step closer. This life isn't a game. I know. You don't. I do. His voice is calm. Too calm. That scares you. You begged me to leave this world, you remind him. Yes. And now you walked into it? Yes. Why? This time he hesitates. Then, because I was tired of being protected. The words land like a slap. I don't need you shielding me, he continues. I don't need you deciding what I can handle. You stare at him. You think this is about strength? No, he says. It's about respect. You feel something unfamiliar. Not anger, fear, because respect inside this world is earned through damage. And you don't want him earning it that way. You joined without my approval. He smirks faintly. I didn't need it. There it is. A shift. He's not asking to stand beside you. He's building his own position. Who accepted you? You ask. He holds your gaze. The boss. That freezes you. The boss didn't tell you. The boss didn't consult you. The boss didn't warn you, which means this wasn't random. This was deliberate. You're being used, you say quietly. He shakes his head. No, yes, maybe, he admits. But so were you. That stings, because it's true. Everyone is used. Until they learn how to use back. You think you're ready for this? You ask. I think you don't like that I am. The tension thickens. You don't know what this life costs, you say. I watched it cost you. That silences you. He steps closer now. You chose the family over me before, he says quietly. That's not true. You chose them every time you left. You open your mouth, but you don't have an answer, because he's not wrong. You chose this path. And every choice created distance. Now he's closing that distance, on his terms. The warehouse door creaks open. The boss steps in. Slow, measured, watching. "This was inevitable," he says calmly. "You don't take your eyes off your brother." "Why wasn't I informed?" The boss tilts his head slightly. "Would you have allowed it?" "No." "Exactly." You clench your jaw. "You're dividing us." "No," the boss says evenly. "I'm revealing you." You finally look at him. He needs to decide who he is without your shadow. You turn back to your brother. "You think this makes you independent?" "No," he says quietly. "It makes me equal." Equal. That word echoes in your head. Equal means competition. Equal means conflict. Equal means one day orders might flow in opposite directions. "You don't understand what this sets in motion," you say. "I do." "No, you don't." His voice lowers slightly. "You didn't join to protect me." You blink. "What?" "You joined because you wanted power." Silence. "Don't pretend you're the hero here." That cuts deep. Because part of you knows it's true. You didn't join purely for protection. You joined for status, for control, for survival. And now he wants the same. The boss watches the exchange carefully, satisfied, because this isn't just recruitment, it's tension. And tension creates strength or fracture. "You have 1 month," the boss says calmly. "To see if he survives." Your chest tightens. Survives what? Initiation. You look at your brother. He doesn't flinch. "You'll stay out of it," the boss adds. That feels like a trap. Because staying out means, if something happens, you can interfere. You walk out of the warehouse without another word. The night air feels colder. He didn't ask for permission. He didn't ask for protection. He asked for equality. And equality inside this world means he's now vulnerable. In your car, your phone buzzes again. A single message from the boss. "Don't interfere." You stare at it. Because you already know something he doesn't. There are men in this organization who would love to hurt you. And the easiest way to do that is through him. You lean back in the driver's seat. For the first time in years, you feel powerless. Not because you lost control, but because you can't protect him anymore. He chose this. And now, the world you built is about to test him. And you're not sure which outcome scares you more. If he fails, or if he succeeds. In the shadowy underbelly of our city, where ambition and desperation often walk hand in hand, 2 brothers, Leo and Mikey, found themselves at a crossroads. Raised in a neighborhood where the lines between right and wrong were often blurred by the struggle for survival, they had always relied on each other. Leo, the elder, was pragmatic and protective, his gaze hardened by the streets. Mikey, younger and more idealistic, still held onto a glimmer of hope for a life beyond the concrete jungle they called home. Their story, a spiral into the world of organized crime, began not with a bang, but with a whisper. Their father, a man who had tried to play by the rules, was drowning in debt. The loan sharks were circling, their threats growing more explicit with each passing day. The pressure was immense, a physical weight on the family's shoulders. Leo saw the fear in his mother's eyes and the despair on his father's face. He knew something had to give. One rain-slicked evening, Leo sought out a man named Silas, a figure who loomed large in local legend. Silas wasn't just a gangster. He was an institution, the head of the city's most notorious criminal syndicate, the Vanguard. His empire was built on a foundation of fear, loyalty, and a twisted sense of order. Approaching him was like walking into a lion's den, but Leo was out of options. The meeting took place in the back room of a dimly lit bar, the air thick with the smell of stale beer and unspilled secrets. Silas, impeccably dressed, studied Leo with cold, calculating eyes. He listened to Leo's plea, his face an unreadable mask. "Loyalty is a currency more valuable than cash, kid," Silas said, his voice a low rumble. "And it comes at a steep price. Are you prepared to pay?" Leo, without a moment's hesitation, said yes. The deal was struck. In exchange for clearing his family's debt, Leo would work for Silas, becoming an enforcer, a cog in the Vanguard's machine. But Silas had one more condition. He had heard about Mikey, his quick wits and sharp mind. He wanted both brothers. 2 for 1, Silas declared, a thin smile playing on his lips. A package deal. Your brawn, his brains. When Leo told Mikey, the younger brother was horrified. He had dreams of college, of a life built on merit, not menace. He saw the path Leo was choosing as a one-way street to destruction. The argument that followed was explosive, a clash of their two worlds. Leo saw it as their only way out, a sacrifice for the family. Mikey saw it as selling their souls. But family obligation is a powerful force. Seeing the relief on his parents' faces when the debt collectors vanished was a turning point for Mikey. The immediate safety they felt, bought with a promise to Silas, was undeniable. Reluctantly, with a heavy heart, Mikey agreed to join Leo. He would work in the back office, managing the logistics, the numbers, the clean side of the dirty business. He told himself he could keep his hands clean, that he could protect Leo from the inside. Their initiation was not a single event, but a slow, creeping indoctrination. For Leo, it started with collecting protection money from local businesses. At first, he used his size and intimidating presence, avoiding physical confrontation. But the streets have their own brutal logic. One day, a shop owner resisted, fueled by desperation. The confrontation escalated, and Leo was forced to make a choice. With Silas's lieutenants watching, he did what was expected. The line he had sworn he'd never cross was suddenly behind him. He came home that night with bruised knuckles and a hollow feeling in his chest. Mikey's descent was more subtle, more insidious. He started by managing ledgers for what seemed like legitimate front businesses, laundromats, import-export companies. He was good at it, his sharp mind finding efficiencies, making the operation smoother. He justified his role by telling himself he was just an accountant. But soon, he was creating complex financial schemes to launder money from far more illicit activities. He was no longer just counting the money. He was hiding it, cleaning it, making the criminal enterprise possible. The distance he tried to maintain between himself and the syndicate's dirty work was shrinking with every spreadsheet he created. The brothers, once inseparable, began to drift apart. They lived in the same apartment, a lavish place paid for by Silas, but they existed in different worlds. Leo was consumed by the violence and paranoia of the streets, his nights filled with tension and the constant threat of rival gangs. He grew colder, more distant, the brother Mikey knew slowly disappearing behind a mask of hardened indifference. Mikey, meanwhile, was ensnared in a web of deceit and moral compromise. He moved in more sophisticated circles, meeting with corrupt politicians and shady businessmen. He learned to speak their language, to navigate their world of veiled threats and unspoken agreements. He was respected for his intellect, a rising star in Silas's organization. But the success felt like poison, each promotion a step further away from the person he wanted to be. The breaking point came during a turf war with a rival faction. The conflict was brutal and bloody, and Silas demanded absolute victory. He tasked Mikey with finding a weakness in the rival leader's operation, a pressure point to cripple them. Mikey, digging through financial records and surveillance reports, discovered the rival had a family, a young daughter, who was kept completely separate from his criminal life. He knew that revealing this information to Silas would be a death sentence for them. He went to Leo, hoping to find an ally, a remnant of the brother who had always protected him. But the Leo he found was a stranger. "This is the life we chose, Mikey," Leo said, his voice devoid of emotion. "You do what you have to do to survive. There's no room for sentiment." That night, Mikey was faced with an impossible choice. Betray Silas and put his and Leo's lives in mortal danger, or sacrifice an innocent family to secure his position and protect his brother. The weight of this decision crushed him. The young man who had dreamed of a different life was gone, replaced by a player in a game where there were no winners, only survivors. He sat alone in their opulent apartment, the city lights twinkling below like 1,000 judging eyes. He looked at a framed photo of him and Leo as kids, smiling, carefree, a world away from the men they had become. Their initiation wasn't just about joining a gang. It was about the slow, painful death of their innocence, the unraveling of their bond, and the loss of their very souls in the service of a kingpin who saw them only as pawns on his board. The whispered promise of salvation had become a deafening roar of damnation, and they were right in the heart of the storm. Thank you for watching. If this story resonated with you, consider subscribing for more deep dives into the complexities of human nature. Until next time, the tension doesn't explode, it tightens, slowly, like wire under strain. 2 months later, a shipment disappears. High value, high risk, high embarrassment. It vanishes inside your brother's territory. That's not a coincidence. That's strategy. Someone wants the blame to fall on him, or on you, or both. The council meets. Accusations float through the air, never landing directly, but always implied. New leadership sometimes moves too quickly. Expansion invites instability. You remain silent. Your brother remains silent, because speaking defensively only confirms vulnerability. After the meeting, you meet privately. This was planted, he says immediately. Yes. Who? You don't answer, because you don't know yet, but you suspect something worse than rivals. You suspect an internal fracture. So you investigate, quietly, not publicly, not loudly, and you find something. One of your older, trusted captains rerouted the shipment. It wasn't for profit. It was for tension. He wanted to create conflict between you, between blood, because divided leadership creates opportunity for those waiting in the shadows. You confront him privately. No audience. No spectacle. You thought we'd tear each other apart, you say, your voice calm, level. He smirks, a flicker of arrogance in his eyes. That was the idea. You underestimated something. What's that? We're not rivals. You don't threaten him. You don't raise your voice. You simply remove him, clean, quiet, no drama. That evening, you call your brother to your office. The air is still thick with the day's tension. It's handled, you say. He studies you, his gaze sharp. You didn't involve me. No. Why? Because this wasn't your burden to carry. He pauses, the silence stretching between you. You still think I need shielding? No, you reply calmly. I think we need separation, silence again. What kind? He asks, his voice measured. Defined territories? Permanent? Yes. It's not because you don't trust him. It's because unity in your world invites tension. Distance preserves respect. He thinks about it, carefully weighing the implications. Then he nods. That's smart. It's not an emotional response. Not offended. It's strategic. He understands the game. Months pass. The organization stabilizes, transforming into 2 defined pillars. You lead one. He leads the other. Clear boundaries. Clear authority. No overlap and therefore no competition. The boss watches quietly from a distance, satisfied. Because the test didn't fracture you. It strengthened you. It forged you. One evening, years later, you sit across from your brother at dinner again. The setting is familiar, but everything else has changed. This time, you both wear suits. Both carry the weight of your positions. Both understand the cost of power. You ever regret joining? You ask him. He considers it, his eyes distant for a moment. No. You? You look at him, at the man he's become, and this time you answer honestly. No. Because now it's not about protection anymore. It's about balance. you built power. He built precision. And instead of colliding, you aligned, not by accident. By sheer discipline, the world you once tried to keep him from, he chose it, and instead of destroying each other, you evolved. The city lights flicker below your window, a sprawling kingdom of glass and steel. 2 leaders, 1 bloodline, no rivalry, no fracture, just defined strength. And in this world, that's rare. That's survival. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more. We'll see you in the next one.